That's right.
And we're live.
There we go.
Let's go, bro.
Long time in the making, bro.
This is like, we've had, the amount of conversations we've had in life,
Bro.
have never been documented. Probably for the better. Probably for the better, bro. You know? We're here though, man.
That's right.
I miss you.
I'm always here, brother.
And me too.
Right over your shoulder.
Life is
at
life.
all times.
I knew, you know, there was a couple times that it was like, who the,
Yep, that's me.
Julian?
That's right.
That's good to see you, man.
Likewise, man. Always a pleasure.
I miss you. At the same time, I'm super excited for you. You know, we stay in touch, we talk, you know what I mean? But you're busy, and you're busy is exciting for me. Probably definitely more exciting for you. But I love seeing you in your bag.
Yeah, man. Yep.
I do. I love seeing you in your bag. I love seeing you focused. I've been around you through a lot of ups and downs.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So to see you locked in, laser focused is awesome. So where are you at? Why are you so locked in? What's going on?
Well, I finally took control of the certain things that I didn't have control of before in terms of my life and career. And I'm enjoying the process, finally being the one to steer my ship in the way that I see is the most beneficial for me and my loved ones, So, and listen, at the end of the day, if something doesn't work out, I know it's all on me, and I'm pretty comfortable with that.
Yeah, man, you've been at the forefront of top tier boxing for as long as I've heard of you and known you. It seems like you're at peace right now. Probably more peaceful than I've ever seen you,
Yeah.
What is the last high level? Because I'm sure we could take the whole podcast for this, but like, what has the last 5 years been like for you?
Tons of ups and downs, man, honestly. Dealing with the business of boxing, it's terrible. It's a very cutthroat business. The people who are at the highest level and control of this game they're very egotistical, a lot of them. And if you don't cater to them in certain ways, they'll spitefully remove you from boxing or prohibit you from fighting or just get in the way and make things difficult. It could be management, it could be your team, it could be whoever, But in those moments is when you learn the most. Some people, that it allows them to break them those times, but you just have to realize why you're in those positions. And I stopped victimizing myself. And believe me, I had every reason to sit here and stomp my feet and be annoyed at why this is happening to me. But once you change that mindset and you stop victimizing yourself, you start looking at the road ahead of you and just outweighing your options and seeing what you need to do. And the vision has never been more clear before. So, I started bringing in different people on my team. I've obtained new management, Dimitri and Steve. They're go-getters, man. So they're really doing the most they can to put me in the positions that I need to be in so that I can just focus strictly on boxing and do what I need to do now.
Yeah. It's obvious they care about Julian the person.
Oh, yeah.
And it reflects as to like what I see of you, what I hear in you when we speak. That's like the piece that I feel. I'm not around you and around the camp, but we do have our conversations. And there is definitely a sense of peace and a sense of focus. I don't know what you're able to share, what you'd want to share, but what are some of those things? And maybe this would be helpful for up and coming, fighters. What are some of the things that you started to pick up on? Like, what's the balance of your ambition and then the boxing business? And how does that work? I mean, I'm so out of the loop, but if you could put it in, like, wrap it a bow around it.
Right. Well, I mean, I tell you what I did learn, like I've made some of the most of my money from my career, I would say, even during COVID and afterwards. And all it takes is for someone to put a pause on your life or your career, and eventually that money's going to go.
That's the business, and that's the business.
Right.
Yeah.
But in that time, once that did happen, I started to really educate myself because I was like, there was a period of time where I was sitting around like, wow, I can't believe this is happening to me. This, why are they doing this or whatever? But then I just stopped and I was like, well, I can't do nothing about that. So let me start educating myself on how to make sure this doesn't happen again, investments and business opportunities and things like that. So, I'm no longer fighting to wear Louis Vuitton outfits. It's more
you definitely wore a lot of Louis Vuitton outfits.
Yeah.
You definitely did.
Yeah, but you start finding your purpose.
Yeah,
and I realized a lot of things, like my other interests and ways that I can use boxing as a vehicle to obtain those things that fulfill my life, and idealistically my family's life.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now I'm it's a now or never situation for me. This is it. I've worked and trained my whole life, and I've just been in my head for a long time, and it kept me off of my game. I forgot who the fuck I was, brother. So now that I'm at this stage, a lot of people would have quit the game after multiple surgeries or fallouts with your team or management, and especially dealing with the people you have to deal with. They would just be like, fuck this, and just go do something else. And the disciplines and the drive that I have put forward with boxing, I know that I can go out and achieve anything I want to do. It's nothing harder than combat sports, brother. I promise you.
That's probably why I don't do it. No, but it is your vessel, man. And it's funny how, you've worked your whole life. One of the top amateurs in New Jersey history. And we've had a lot of conversations throughout the years, and I've been around you and I've talked you through a lot of those tough times, because you're talented in so many different ways. Like, people don't know that you're an unbelievably talented musician, songwriter. You have a business mindset, and you can take. Julian can go in a million different directions, right? Yeah. But I'm pretty sure I've reminded you of this a bunch, and I'm damn sure I'm not the only one. This is your vessel.
Yeah.
Like, boxing is your vessel. It is the place that separates you. It is the place that you're not just somebody in the mix. You are elite. And as hard as it might be, and as listen, when you get to the top of anything, it's gonna be headsy.
Oh yeah.
And you're a good person. Like, I know the person you are, the human you are. People probably don't know that side of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? The side that the conversations I've had, like the depth of you, the father you are. I mean, there's so much that people have no clue. But when you get to this level, it's business, and it's money, and it's, various people pulling you in a million different directions for their own benefit, without really, there's not care. It's not to say they don't care, but they think they know what is best for you. But it simultaneously is to, whether it be pad pockets, make them look good, an image, whatever it might be. The bottom line is, as hard as it might have been, the most beautiful thing I'm witnessing now in you is like, you're back to the place, the honest place that is where you need to be to prove something, to do something. It's where your heart is. You didn't put. How old are you?
I just turned 30.
30.
Yeah.
You've been boxing for how long?
Since I'm 7. So.
23 years of your life.
Right.
This
is it right here.
It's what you do.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
I owe it to myself to really carry this out. A lot of people would even criticize me, like, go get a job, and they talk shit, but when you're so close to this, like, if you have a successful business for over 10 plus years and it's, you're all over the place. For me, I was all over the news, winning national tournaments, ranked number 1. I beat a lot of your favorite famous fighters that are on TV. Just because you have a bad 2-3 years, and it's not really necessarily a bad 2-3 years. I just been out of the mix.
Yeah.
Dealing with management stuff. So I'm not really getting on those A-list cards at this moment, but you got to stick it through, man. These are the moments right before that big push. It's so cliche. You hear that everyone say.
It's true.
All those success stories you hear them because they didn't give up.
Correct.
And when you're trying to reach a certain level of success, you're going to inevitably go through the peaks and valleys, bro. And it's just a matter of how to navigate those valleys when you're in them and really try to grow and perceive them in a way where it's like, okay, I can use that as leverage, or I can, I'll use it as leverage in terms of educating myself so it doesn't happen again, or let me learn more about the business or about another business, or maybe how to handle my finances better. So, it's just so many different things that I could have spent time thinking of instead of sitting there victimizing myself saying, for me.
Maybe you needed that too, though.
I did need it.
You needed those introspective moments and those, because it is make or break moments. Those are make or break moments.
Right. I did need
as low as they might be.
Because looking back, if I did receive everything that I wanted at that moment,
you wouldn't have felt that.
I not only wouldn't have valued it the right way, but I wouldn't have held on to certain things. Because I went through that low in my life, I was able to really find what were my main priorities and what I really cared about. And I've done all those things. I've done all those clubs, the One Oaks, the fancy shit, the jewelry, the clothes, the trips, and all that stuff, all the restaurants. A good steak only, could only taste the same as another good steak.
I feel like I make a better steak.
Well,
personally,
I have all these years of my friend. You haven't made me one steak.
I owe you a steak. I owe you a couple steaks because you've bought me steaks.
Yes,
you've definitely bought me steaks.
And it's just it's just about realizing, like, I have 2 children, man. You know what I mean? And what I want to do after boxing, it has to do with what are ways that I can really. I know this may sound like a reach, but I really want to change the economy to some degree.
Yeah.
I love the idea of real estate and being a developer on one day in my life. And I've had a lot of mentors in that field. So, and I take my son on little hiking trips, and I'm like, to him, it's we're in the middle of a forest, but I'm like, do you know what was here 100 years ago? Rockefeller had a mansion built here. Look at this part of the stairs that are right here, on the cliffs and the Palisades. And I really embed like the history and what you can do today that in 100 years, somebody could be talking about you.
Yeah.
And that really makes me feel something. And knowing that while I was here, I impacted humanity to some degree. Other than, I was a boxer. There's so many people that don't even know that the level of where boxing can take you. So they're like, oh, so you box? Oh, well, what do you do for work? And I'm like, oh, okay, you don't get it. You're not there yet. But I grew in a lot of ways, and I'm still growing. You've matured. But I'm really happy with my progress, and everything I'm learning, I'm instilling into my children. That's what I really value these days. Like my bloodline, my lineage. I want to have tons of children and navigate them so they make an impact in the world.
That's, once you have kids, dude.
Yeah.
I remember before I had Maxx, you would tell me all the time, like, just wait, bro.
Yeah.
Just wait. And like, I'm 5 years, almost 6 years older than you. And you had a couple kids prior to me having kids, and you were like, just wait, bro, it's going to change you.
Yeah.
And I remember when I had my son, I was like, yo, bro, it changed me. I was like, dude, I feel it. I get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It does change everything. And I remember being in a very headsy space prior to having my son. Very headsy, like purpose, lost. Like,
yeah, just distracted. You're distracted by all the fucking hoopla shit. You think things are important when in reality you're like, okay, but they're not as important as this, and maybe I should be doing this or focusing on this.
Yeah. I think, for me, man, before my son, I feel like I've given my all to almost everything I've done. And a lot of times I felt like the energy kept getting pulled from me, until I didn't have much left, and, the thing I'll always take from that's positive is I helped a lot of people, even in the smallest little ways, like whether it was a moment in time or I gave them my time, my energy, and like they needed it or whatever, because I pride myself in that. I do like making a difference, and I do like being there for people to a fault almost, but I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, people will say, lock in, do your own thing, like be very focused and tunnel vision. Like, it's just not my makeup. And so there was a point prior to Maxx where I was like, yeah, bro, really not knowing what I wanted. I had a lot of things pulled from me. Hadn't gotten where I believe my worth is. And then it kind of was like a switch. It was like instant purpose. The best reason to tell everybody, fuck off. And like, no, I'm busy, because of the same reasons you're talking about. So I know the father you are. I know it's a huge part of your purpose. And it's bigger than boxing. But boxing is like a great way to show grit, determination, focus, passion. There's a lot of things that they're going to get from that's far more than like, my daddy's a boxer.
Right. Yeah. And I've learned a lot of valuable life lessons through boxing, but it takes someone who's capable of perceiving those things that happen and attaching a lesson to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And the thing is too, we are the type of people that like to connect and feel people
it's
and
all
resonate
feel,
with
bro.
them.
Yep.
So people take advantage of things like that.
They do. The dogs out in the world, like the real dog eat dog kind of mentality people. Yeah, they do. And it sucks, like it does. But I'm not going to change my stripes. I haven't seen you change your stripes. The person I am to my core, and I've made a million mistakes, but things I'm not proud of. You know what I mean? But the person I am to my core, I know what that is.
Yeah.
And you know what it is when if I can sit here and say I've made mistakes, like you're saying right now, that says something. You're not cold. To be aware. There's moments that I'll now, especially older, like go in a direction, and you're like, that doesn't feel right. Mm-hmm. This doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel like I should be doing it. It could be the littlest thing, but that's awareness. It's awareness.
Yeah. During my downtime, I'd like to believe that I've really increased my self-awareness, looking back at things where even my whole life for years, I thought like, why'd they do, again, victimizing myself. But then it just took me to step back and, okay, I understand why they would do that from a business perspective, or why they would maybe not pay attention to me after XYZ happened, even though I felt like I needed to do XYZ to prove a point. But then now they see things a different way. And like, there's just so many ways to look at it, but being self-aware is something that most people lack nowadays.
Yeah, bro. My coach tells me, I have a coach right now, and he's fantastic. I met him not too long ago, and he's been really, really helpful, and he said to me, the majority of people are on autopilot. Mm-hmm. Majority of people. They might not even know it.
Yeah, they don't know. They
have no clue. So like looking at you as a boxer, they're looking at it surface level. They're viewing it as like entertainment. They're looking at it as like what they think you should do because boxing is X, Y, and Z and whatever. Right. Like, if you can't, we all do it to some extent. Like it's like, your group chats with your boys and be like, oh man, I would have ducked that and hooked them real quick. It's like the stupid shit, as if like if we were in a ring, we would have done it. Like anybody could point a finger and say, but most people are on autopilot, bro. Most people aren't aware, and they get a rise out of surface level stuff and acting like the smartest person in the room, like they know. And it takes being in other rooms with other people, or being challenged and accepting that challenge, or being a sponge and listening to actually reverse that curse of autopilot. I think it's a curse. Like I do.
Well, once you achieve that level, I guess, of awareness, you're able to see the insecurities a lot clearer in other people.
Yes.
And when they are projecting, and that's why I'm very, most of the time, unless I'm really pushed, but I'm very calm, and I can analyze a situation for what it really is. Mm-hmm. And it has helped me tremendously, instead of sitting there going tit for tat with somebody or an argument or whatever. Remember, I'm a competitive guy since I'm 7 years old.
It's in you.
So that's naturally my what, it's in me. But I've dealt with a lot of outside noise and hate and stuff like that, and I would sit back and realize oh, that's you, my brother.
Yeah,
that's you. That's not right, and that's okay. Yeah. I know where you're at. I've been there too. Yeah, and it helps me, bro. And I heard someone say this at one time, but it's so simple. But I used to take up my time in my day, and you have 24 hours in a day, aside from when you're sleeping. But and I would think about a lot of negative things or things that bothered me, and a lot of times I would use it as fuel. Sometimes maybe subconsciously, then go and let it all out in the bag or in the gym, I guess. But there's just a certain time where you realize I need to just fill up my day with more positive thinking, or I can't sacrifice these valuable seconds or minutes or hours of my day wondering why this person is saying this, or why are they doing this to me, or why are I just started to focus and pinpoint on my actions, what I can control. And and here's the thing, we all know this to some degree. We read it somewhere, we watched a video of someone saying it, but it really takes something for some people to really feel that.
Yeah, usually it's experiences. Yeah. Most of the time it's experiences. What were some of the moments where you were like humble to the point where you had to take it there, where it started to kind of push you in the direction of truth, honesty?
Right. I would say when, I had some, I don't want to go into names, but I've had difficulties with management for some time, and it's, that they have very strategic ways at making you, feel it when they want you to feel it. So basically, like, I was kept from being in the ring for a while, whether it's, because of a domino effect or whatever. At the end of the day, because of this situation, I was out for a while. And and this was at a time where I was supposed to make, new moves and go on this upward trajectory into my life. Yeah. And I had just been on ESPN all the time, and I was making a name for myself finally. I was forced to sit out in the shadows for a while, and then I started giving people on my team the control of the ship, so to speak, and it wasn't going anywhere. Yeah. And that's when I realized, like, you know what, I got to do this myself. I can't put my trust in anyone else. I have to do this myself. And if I fail, okay. Yeah. Okay. I know that I'll learn. And whether it's with boxing or whatever, I can take those lessons and go somewhere else. But yeah, I lost a lot of stuff, bro. I lost everything. There were times where, I lost my apartment, and I have 2 kids, and then but the people are doing this are worth more than $100 million. But why are you doing this to me when I have 2 kids? Oh, okay. You just,
when it's good, it's good.
Your authority.
And when it's good, it's good. Like, they'll reap the benefits and look good when it's good.
Of course, yeah. And the second that, let's say I have a bad night or something. Yeah. Now they want to go around and saying something else to preserve.
It's never their fault.
Of course, right.
It's never their fault. And it tells we put you in position.
And it tells you all about. It really told me or showed me who was there for Julian,
the person.
And in those moments, it was my immediate family. My father, my mother, my uncles, my grandparents. And in those moments, I'll never forget those moments, because that's when I really started to realize, like, all this shit is here today, gone tomorrow, brother. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even the whole money aspect thing, that shit, I mean, listen, we need it for freedom.
Of course.
But that's not even what drives me anymore. Like, I really want to have children that understand this mindset, because once you have that mindset, it's hard to lose, bro.
It is, and money comes to you. Like, if you're if you're chasing the bag, I think about all the people that have money. Like, right, we know a lot of people that have money. A lot of them are not happy.
Oh yeah.
A lot of them are miserable.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, and they love those little moments when they're around people, and you got the it gives them a little bit of an endorphin kick, but they do have to lay their head down at night. Right. And I've had a lot of deep conversations with some very successful people, and I know the other side. I know the other side empty. Yeah. Empty.
Yeah, it gets old. It gets old doing that stuff.
Because you realize it's the same thing. Like, you can have it all and be able to do all. And listen, yes, it helps to not have to think about, day-to-day struggles that your everyday person, of course, brings some sort of happiness. There's no question about it. But when then you have it and you're still not fulfilled, and you didn't do anything to get yourself in that space, or aren't doing anything to get yourself in that space, then what?
Yeah.
Then what?
Yep.
Right? Because now you have to, you went all the way in a direction. It is very hard to go that far and then revert all the way back, make it make sense, the perception, be open and willing to share your vulnerabilities in this. People don't want to do that because they're here. It's scary, bro. Life is scary. Yeah, it is. But it's in your control more than you think.
Yeah. And there's not a challenge that will come my way, that I feel like I can't find a healthy perception of a way to get out of it, or a way to perceive it and go through it in the way that I'm supposed to go through it. Yeah. And all of these things are lessons of life, and I take on everything that's coming my way, good or bad. And it took a lot to get there, but I'm there.
Yeah, I feel it, bro. I feel it in you, and it's good. And I remember, I remember watching the Pedraza fight, and I'll bring it up. And there's a lot of things about the Pedraza fight that like we've talked about, and you know the depth of what people might not know and whatever. And I still think it's one of those fights, and you probably do too, that it still should have been my fight. You know,
it should have been. You know,
I think everybody,
everybody should have been. Even my own CEO of the company was already kind of like, before the fight was happening, he was like, "Yeah, we're looking at Julian and Teofimo and next," you know, and everyone, even my own team, was kind of overlooking in the situation, but I was the one that was like,
why?
Like, you know, I went into camp, and right away, like that first week in Vegas, I got injured with this rib situation, but I don't want to talk too much about that because that story's out already.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, a loss is a loss, so cool. But I am a very transparent person, and I don't give a shit what people think or what they say about, oh, it's an excuse. I tell my story, and if you don't like it, go fuck yourself. But, you know, I had fractured ribs, bro. Yeah. And then because of that, I didn't have a camp. And because I didn't have a camp, you know, my weight was not where it should have been.
And when you say not having camp, that means like because you were hurt, you weren't able to have the kind of camp you need to.
I'm going up against a 2-time world champion.
Yeah.
You know, so I need to be in tip-top shape. I wasn't even going to a boxing gym. I was in the fitness gym in my hotel, just running because I couldn't twist my upper body. So just running and maybe doing light shadow boxing in the mirror. And yeah, you know, I was nervous for it because I'm like, I'm not having this camp, and I'm looking up with my team, and everyone's telling me get the champagne ready, and everyone's telling me to get the champagne ready and the cigars ready because we're gonna knock this guy out in 6 rounds, and me at 100%, yes, you know what I mean. But in that moment, and while my team kind of saw that I was not having a camp and was just winging it and stuff, that didn't rub me the right way. You know, when a fighter is unsure, they're supposed to rely on their team. You know, a fighter goes through a lot of mental things. What we do is not normal, bro. It's not normal.
Did you open up about this during camp? Like, did you say this to them, or was this one of those things you tried masking because you didn't want to look a certain way?
I would hint it. I would hint at it. You know, I would say things like, "Hey guys, have you saw tape on him on his latest fights? Like, he comes alive in the later rounds, like, you know, so we got to make sure our conditioning."
Definitely conditioned. He was conditioned.
Yeah, we got to make sure the conditioning is right, because he'll go and, you know, dance like a ballerina for 4 or 5 rounds, and then
he's like,
it's a good tactic though.
It is. I mean, I've seen a couple of his fights just leading up to your fight. I remember watching him a little bit, and he's like it's
just awkward, and what that does is it keeps you from thinking about things you want to do. So instead, you're focusing on this guy, and you know he's tapping you with jabs and tapping you, and you're like, all right, cool, I don't hurt. But then after like 500 of them, you're like, all right, now I can't get past the jab, and now I'm tired because my legs hurt, and I haven't had a fucking camp.
And he has another. He switches
and
gears.
That's just him. Baiting me, and you know, so I remember thinking in that fight, like it was like maybe the 3rd, 4th round, like, man, I feel like I'm not even in the fight, like in terms of my mentality. Like I feel like I even said this to myself, like I feel like I'm fighting in a dream. You know, when you're in a dream and you go to fight, it feels like you're underwater, like you have no power. And so like that's sort of what happened, man. Like the whole camp, I didn't have a good camp. And because of that, my weight was not where it should have been throughout the camp, because in a good camp, you're getting hard rounds of sparring, you're getting good pad work, and you're in the gym, you're in that element. It's not just about the physical work, it's about when you do that type of work, what it does for your mental. So my mental was completely shot. And, you know, certain people at my camp were even not present for the main aspects of camp. They would go to leave and prioritize other things, and that tells me something too. You know,
was this your first big fight with that camp? Like that?
It was like major fight where it was like, okay, if I win this fight, the next fight is really life changing.
That's what hurt. I mean, I know for you again more than anybody, but like that's what, because I knew it. Like we talked. Like I remember the excitement leading up to it, and what could be, and you know, you had gotten to this point. You know, I remember watching it at a buddy's house of mine, and like it was getting into the rounds, and I was like, you know, seeing it go in a direction,
right? Yeah.
Especially having watched you enough. And then when it ended, I was like, man, the one thing I went right to your kids. I went right to your livelihood.
Right.
I wasn't even thinking like anything more than that at that point. Like, is Julian going to be good? Because I know what that was going to lead to. And again, going back to just where you're at now, like you should be nothing but proud of yourself, bro.
Yeah,
like you really should over the last few years, man.
It was very revealing to me. I don't even to be honest, I don't even look at that fight, and it's not something for me to learn from as far as the physical fight. It was more about what happened and what it showed me regarding
you. Knowing you, it's good because you could go two different ways, you know, and we all can, you know, but we're deep in that. Like it could go really, really south, or it could go very, like the highs are high and the lows are lows, and you know, and so I say proud because like you should be nothing but proud of yourself to be at this point that you are today. Like that is undeniable. And honestly, fuck what anybody says about what they think your career is or should be or could have, would have, should have, like watch now. Like now, you know.
Yeah, I don't take, that tells me more about their level of knowledge in the sport. Because if you look at the top 10 pound for pound list right now, 5 of them are over 35 years old. So, and that's where like the big money is. When you know, this Better Biev and Bivol just was last week. Better Biev is like 41 years old, bro. Bivol, I don't know, late 30s, I'm assuming. And they both made well over $10 million, bro, for that 45 minutes of work.
It's a nice little paycheck at you know,
at that age.
On your way out.
I'm not worried. And I have had some time off throughout my career, whether it's due to injuries or whatever. So like I haven't taken much damage in the sport.
Yeah.
I don't have cuts. You know, I speak well.
Kind of ridiculous actually, because you fought like what? How many fights have you fought in your life? Like 300?
Yeah. Well, amateurs. my amateur record was 221-9. Oh my god. My professional record right now is 23-1.
Yeah.
So I'm good, man. I had to be honest, it was my mental. That's what was holding me back. My mental, and I didn't have the people around me that were
pushing that side.
Yeah, that were exercising that and making me understand.
No, you were supposed to be. You're a machine. It was like you were a machine to them. You're like, you're not a human. You're this thing, you know, that is supposed to do X, Y, and Z, and it's a robot. You know what I mean? And you worked to get to that point, I guess, but nobody. And I'll revert back to like, I know because those late night calls and the conversations and shit like that over the years, bro, like I know the other side. And I know the pain, bro. Like I feel it for you. You know, I felt it for you a bunch, bro. And, I mean, I'm excited to see where you're going to go and what you're going to do, because I think you said this to me prior to doing this. And when we said we were going to jump on, you said to me, you were like, I've never been this locked in. Like I did all of that my whole career and was never 100% locked in on every level. Yep. That's scary.
I'm 23-1 as a professional, and I've been fucking slacking this whole time.
That's scary,
you motherfuckers are in trouble.
That's scary, bro. That's scary. That's scary.
Yeah. That's why I laugh. That's why I like, bro.
I know.
I'm in a good place.
Bro. I'm happy for you. What's next? Like what's like fights coming up? Like
So I just signed a deal with my management team, Dimitri and Steve. Steve is an ex-NFL player, and he's into real estate now. He's a developer. So he's handling a lot of the business side. He's a great friend of mine too. So I have that with him, that connection. Dimitri is very business oriented. They both are business oriented, but Dimitri is more of the he goes after the deals and he negotiates his contracts.
A smart guy, bro. I could tell he's bright.
He's a go-getter, man. And it feels refreshing to have that type of energy in my team again, you know. And they are with the times. They cater to what we need to do now as a business. I'm not just someone that's good in the ring and fight and make money. Yeah, cool. No, let's this is a brand. Let's figure out how to navigate this in the best possible way.
Yeah,
and that's feels where we're right at in the world these days. So you know, we've been doing a lot of great things, a lot of reaching out, and we are in contact with a lot of A-list promoters, and they're telling me to be ready for April. And we have things lined up with, you know, bigger companies also down the line of the year. But as of right now, we're getting prepared for mid-April. And once, you know, I can't really name drop things right now, but you know, once things are more solidified and I'm able to announce these things, I'll be right back here talking about it. Yeah.
How does it work like as an independent, like not being with a Top Rank, for instance, which you know, and the other, whoever else you've been with over the years, you know, how does it work when you're independent and you're navigating it? Is the boxing world now, does it kind of favor that? Because it seems different.
Yeah, it depends on your position.
Yeah.
So I do have not a great record and things, but I have been out for a while and I've been spotty coming back. Like I'll have a fight here and then like the next year I'm there figuring out a new training team now, a new management, and or I didn't have a manager. So like things were like not consistent. Then I had this fight here and some things were going on with the promoter and things and we didn't feel comfortable. So then that's when I really solidified and I'm like, I need management, proper management. And now there's a whole game plan, but it does favor someone who's at the higher end of their career because now they have the freedom to go and fight on this guy's show or this guy's show. Everything's like a monopoly, bro. Like these promoters, they only want their own fighters to fight each other this way. They keep all the money in-house. And, you know, some people like the promoters I'm kind of talking to, we are, you know, throwing around the ideas of multi-fight contracts and things because I am looking for a home that I can build with and keep growing. And I want a team. I need a team. Yeah.
When listen, promotion companies help. That's what they do. They're going to put you, and it's not going to be like, oh, we're talking to a promoter and we did it on our own. And then, shit, like, I don't really like this. It's like, yeah, you're going to go fight. This is who you're going to fight. You can talk about it and navigate it however you want, but like, at least that's what they do.
Right.
I'd imagine, like, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of times if you don't have the proper representation, they'll disrespect you. They'll go and say, all right, we'll put you in front of this guy who's a top 5 fighter, but you'll get paid this. And if you don't like it, cool, we'll go and so it's like, all right, like I value my career and I'm still in a place where it needs to be navigated correctly for the potential of making a lot of money and always in this game. There are people who solidified or they're comfortable solidifying themselves as a gatekeeper and like now they're just chasing a paycheck, which I can easily do that. I get these offers for these bigger fighters and I could just go in there and dance around for 12 rounds and make a cool $300,000 to $500,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not in that place yet, but or God willing, I'll never be, but you know, that's just where I'm at.
Doesn't hurt to have the option.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to have the option.
I do have that in my back pocket. And, I am a special fighter, especially when my conditioning is 100%. More so when my mindset is 100%. So,
all right. So you got possibly April, right? Spring, summer, and then potentially. So it was like 2-3 fights a year. Ideally, is what you'd want to do.
Yeah. Ideally, I want 3.
3 a year.
3 a year seems like if we get this April fight in, then we might have one maybe June or July, and then another one maybe in October. And there's some big companies that are throwing shows here in New Jersey towards the end of the year that they're already reaching out to me that they want me to be on these shows. So I got to make sure I really have a great year leading up to that. Yeah. To really maximize that position.
Yeah, you got to win.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get out there and
look good.
Of course. All of it matters, bro. All of it matters.
Right.
Not sick, dude. And I'm going to bring it up now because I feel like the timing is right. I watched you on a recent podcast with John Rondi.
Oh yeah.
And all right, so I want to understand all of this. Okay. I kind of know because we talked about it briefly, and I have a couple things here that I definitely want to share. And I'm going to be seeing it for the first time myself.
Okay.
But what's the whole? You shared your fight with Gervonta.
Well, here's the thing. So he asked me to. I don't know who.
He asked you a question, and can I preface it real quick?
Yeah.
All right. So my understanding, watching it, was you were asked who was like the toughest fighter that you fought, right? Was it along those lines?
Yeah. He asked me if I fought any big names.
And
I said a few or sparred big names.
Yeah.
So he said I said a few: Manny Pacquiao, Danny Garcia, Ruslan Provodnikov, a lot of fighters. And I landed on Tank.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess because he's, the fighter he is right now, he's on top of the sport. So he was like, whoa, really? How did those fights go? And I told the truth. The first two, we had 2 fights, 2 official fights, right before we turned pro, 16, 17 years old. And I beat him both times. The first fight was a great fight. He was hitting me a lot. I was hitting him a lot. But I did hit him with a hook, and I dropped him.
Mm-hmm.
And he had he felt it for a while. He had to shake his legs out for a little bit. They gave him some time in the corner to fix his headgear that I knocked off his head or knocked loose. So they took their time putting it back together while he's shaking his legs out. But realistically, if they would have allowed that fight to, resume when it was supposed to after his 8 count, when he had no legs and I would have jumped on him.
Would have been a problem.
Right. But we could only assume because that didn't happen.
Yeah.
What I am speaking on is the shit that did happen.
Yeah.
And, so I'm talking about this. And at the end of the clip, I make a joke and I go, and I got the video. Like that. I had no intention of dropping the video, really. Like I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I've been sitting on this video since it happened. You know what I mean? And
because you could have at any point.
Right. Yeah. I'm not into the whole clout shit. And, but people it started to gain some traction. That clip got, I think, 80,000 views at the, whatever. And some other boxing sites on Instagram started picking it up, but they would chop it up and take out all the good things I was saying about the fight.
Because you gave Tank his flowers in regards to how he like his punching or the way he hits. Like there was actually a ton of respect.
Sharp, very sharp. And it's cool to see, like, now looking back, all these bigger names that I have fought growing up or whatever, that you could tell who's unique, who has it.
Yeah.
And he definitely was one of those kids, very slick fighter, but he focused on hand speed, but he had such a crack to him because it was precision and explosiveness. And that's something that you find in special fighters.
Yeah.
So I talked about all that stuff, but then you had these boxing pages that would chop it up and make it seem like, it does seem like I'm talking shit about him in those videos.
Well, that's what they do. That's what the internet does.
And it was good for engagement. I'm not going to lie. They did what they had to do to get views.
Yeah.
So they did that. And of course, a bunch of Tank's minions are in there talking shit, saying the obvious things like, whoa, look where he's at. Look what, but that wasn't the purpose of, I was just telling my story.
Yeah.
Like, this is my life. Like, I lived a cool fucking life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I'm just telling my story and people take it out of context and troll around, and I enjoyed it. I was going back and forth. It was pumping me up. I was having good gym sessions because of it too. But, at some point, people were just flat out calling me a liar.
Yeah. Well, I remember going through the comment section.
Yeah. They even had a poll up. One of them had a poll like, do you think he's lying or not?
Yeah.
And like 70% of people thought I was lying.
Yeah.
And you had people in there in the comments saying, yo, I was there. I saw that shit happen.
I saw that too.
Well, multiple people. You had, then Shakur was in my DMs. He's another great talent that I've seen come up too.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, send me the video because I was there too. I remember that day I fought Shushu.
Oh, he was around the same time? Yeah. He came up the same time.
He was younger. But he fought, what's his name? Bruce Carrington, who's a good fighter as well. He's with Top Rank. So he's like, yeah, I was there too that day. I saw that happen. It's when I fought Shushu. So, I know what I did and what I was, I wasn't trying to like talk shit on the guy. I respect his skills. I think he's great for the sport. I had no problem with him. But then I guess because I was talking shit back to the people that were trolling me, and, I was like, listen, and I was clearing up confusion. I was saying, look, I sparred him my whole life. And so now we're going to get into it. I sparred him our whole lives from 9 years old to maybe 14, and every single time we sparred, I had him crying. Every single time. I had him crying.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's
every single time. Yeah. Granted, whatever. Then time passed, and then we fought.
Yeah.
Now, when we first came to fight, he came up to New Jersey, and both of our opponents fell out. So we were like, "Hey, you want to do this? Cool." Now, because I beat him up his whole life, I went into the fight thinking that it was going to be easy work. So I was pumped up. I was cool. I came in there swinging recklessly.
Yeah.
And he started showing me that, yo, he grew up.
Polish skills, yeah.
He's sharp. So I kept putting the pressure, and I hit him with a hook, and he fell on his face. So then the second time we fought, I won that fight, but it was a good fight.
Yeah.
The second time we fought was a week before some big tournament that we were all going to be at, a national tournament. And I'm not going to lie, that first fight was rough on both of us because we were hitting each other a lot. So the second fight came, and he literally, when the bell rang, he ran to me and then like ran the whole fight while laughing at me. And every time he like literally was trolling me in the fight. So like, and the fight didn't matter. It was some one night show. It wasn't like a high ranking tournament. So like, who gives a shit? If he loses, it doesn't matter. And that's what he did. The whole fight, he was trolling me. When I would corner him, he would duck, hold me, laugh, run around, laugh in my face. Like if he was really like playing a joke.
Yeah.
So the fight ended, and I was kind of relieved because that first fight was tough,
Yeah, you got
bro.
banged up. Everybody got banged up. Yeah.
It was tough, bro.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of glad,
Yeah.
And right after the fight, Calvin came up to us, me and my stepdad, And he was like, "Come on, man. You know we got that tournament in a week. We're not trying to get into it like that, you know."
Yeah.
And it was all love, bro.
Yeah.
I've even seen Tank. So I've even spoke on that fight years ago, and it's been
This is earlier in his career, though, right?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Earlier in both of your careers, you spoke on that fight.
Yeah, because I've got asked. And but it's been picked up by big boxing sites, so like I'm sure he saw it, and I've seen him since, and he shows love. Would come up to me, dap me up, you know, what's up, brother? How you doing? I even saw him right before the fight with Ryan Garcia. We were in Vegas. I saw him. It was all love. It was cool, great, you know. And so I guess once he saw me clapping back with these people, and I guess after seeing that edited clip, he decided to DM me, and right away, like on some, you know, tough guy shit, like calling. He loves to use the term "dick eater," so. He loves that shit, but you know he says that all over his Twitter. He called me a dick eater. Like I guess he fantasizes about men who eat dicks. But
oh boy,
you know it was just one of those things. Like he was talking crazy shit to me, saying, "Oh, look where you're at. Go get a job," and things like that. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Say I'm here talking. Like, what's the problem? You remember, or did you forget? And I had to send him screenshots of him on the fucking floor to remind him. And I told him, "Oh, I guess I hit you that hard, huh?" But it was just stupid little like trolling talk because he knows. So I don't have nothing to prove to him, nor does me talking about this video have anything to do with his career. It's you know we don't even got to talk about that. He's
pushing
on his
you.
level.
He's pushing you. Why, and why do you think he's pushing you? Why do you think he's pushing you?
He's a sensitive little guy. I think he's sensitive. He got sensitive, and now that the shit is out and people don't believe it and it's getting attention. Now he feels a way about it.
Well,
and then he started mentioning, like, I think, you know, I'm here talking about getting active with him, you know what I mean? And then he goes and takes a picture of my son, Jaden, who's 12. He's already bigger than Tank, but, you know, he's 12 years old. And he goes and makes a comment about his appearance or some shit like that. And I go and I also look on his Twitter, on Gervonte's Twitter, and he seems to like to take shots at people's family, their kids, or their, you know, things like that. And he made a remark about my son's appearance, which wasn't that offensive, to be honest, but he was going there. And, you know, I told him, like, listen, I'm here trying to get active and you're here trolling. You know, I could have easily been here talking about your bald-headed mother, but I wasn't. You know, and then he like tried to brush it off at first, and then I think he ended up getting mad about it and was like, nah, fuck that. Where you at? Where are you at? Where are you at?
Yeah.
You know, and then he did some shit. It's like, oh yeah, we'll pull up tomorrow or pull up Monday. And this was like Saturday night or some shit. And I'm like, you don't really mean that. And if it really bothers you, then do something for real about it. Don't sit here and talk about sparring. Don't sit here and.
That's why I was trying to tell you to pull up, like to spar.
Yeah, like pull up on Monday to spar. Like I'll do this. I sent him my number and he never even reached out. So. You know, I know what you're doing too when you're like, that's like when a fighter gets scared and they're like, yeah, I'll fight him, but give me 100 million.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you know that's not going to happen, you fucking liar.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, you're in your own lane, brother. You're in your own lane. Focus on yourself. Cool. Like, I'm very happy to see people I grew up with in the boxing world succeed. I will never hate on the next man, bro. I know what this sport is. And judging by where he came from, all power to you, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But don't talk tough to me, brother.
Yeah.
Because you'll see when you look at me in my fucking eyes that I'm not what you think or what you're used to fighting around, or I'm not scared of no fucking lights, bro. You know what I mean? So I just I let him know like that. And then once he said that shit, now I felt like the gloves were off. So now I'm like, all right, fuck you. Now I'm going to say the real shit that happened. I've been beating your fucking ass your whole life and you're salty about it now. And the only thing you could say is, yeah, well, look how much money I have. Like, that's the only thing you could say. And you've been handled in your career like a fucking golden goose. You know what I mean? Like, don't.
Well,
man to man. You know what I mean?
I have it. I want to drop it. I want to show it.
Show that shit.
I want to show it. And I also have, you sent me the like a screen recording of the DMs. I don't know if that's something you want me to show.
You can, just so people could see the level of fucking intellect this man is.
I'm going to show that first because that I did see. Yeah. And I find it extremely interesting.
And here's the thing too. I want to say a lot of people are like, oh, he's cloud chasing. He would never fight you.
I've read that a lot,
bro.
Yeah.
His last 5 opponents, 3 of them had less than 20 fights. Stop it. Stop it, bro. Listen, you have a great team that has took great care of you. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying the facts.
Yeah.
Just saying the facts.
Yeah.
I do commend him for the things that he has achieved, because boxing's tough, bro. But to have a team like that helps you navigate, and will find someone that's, the boxing people will know what it is, and then polish it up and make it like, oh, this might be the one, and you know, and form a big event around it where you're making that much money. Kudos to you and your team, brother.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a business.
Yeah, I wasn't even talking about that.
Yeah.
In that regard, much respect to you. I'm in my own lane, you're in your own lane. Happy for you, brother.
But yeah, I think, and from your standpoint, I mean, I can imagine how you feel. It's like, you know, all the success in the world. So like a lot of people look at Gervonta, and rightfully so. I mean, listen, he's a tremendous fighter. But your experience with him is twice fighting in the ring, and it
I've been beating your ass when you're little. I've been beating your ass when you're a late teenager. And at that time, you were boasting, that you would knock men out and stuff. Okay, well, when you got put on your ass, now what? Now he's a kid?
Yeah.
Now that was a long time ago?
Yeah.
Everyone else loves to talk about sparring matches and Shakur and Devin in the sparring, or what really happened with Tank and Devin and stuff. But this wasn't even sparring. This was an actual competition.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, bro, no one else can go out there and say, yeah, I put Tank on his ass. Here's the video. Yeah. So you know what? Respect the fucking man that put you on your fucking ass, because I'll do it again, bro.
Yeah, and I think for you, bro, the bottom line is this is real. This is true, you know? And I know the person you are. Again, like I wouldn't expect you to go this route ever. You're just never like that. But I read the DMs. I don't blame you. You know, as a father, and Gervonta's a father, isn't he?
Yeah, but you know,
regardless, it's I'd imagine that, you know, this would you know, right. This would bother me, bro.
Also, I know who I'm dealing with. I know I've seen this kid grow up multiple times. I know where he comes from. That shit, I know. Well, nothing bothers me.
And the bottom line is, now this is going to be out in the ether, period, right? And all the speculation as to whether or not you did or didn't.
Yeah, it's done now.
It is what it is.
But now here's what's going to happen. Now they're going to, first they call me a liar, right? Then we're going to drop the video. Cool. And now everyone is going to go in another direction. Like, oh, well, look where he's at now. Or, oh, well, that was when you guys were younger. Like, it's always going to be like that.
What about put the gloves on? Is that in the cards?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
If you're here fighting guys with 16, 17 fights, and again, they don't sell tickets, or they've been on the scene maybe for a year. Like, I'll make the 140 for you.
Yeah.
I'm at 147 now. I'll make the 140 for you. You know what I mean? And I'll do your little bullshit rehydration clause because you're scared and all that shit.
Well, I feel like,
even though the guy walks around fucking 180, you could see it.
Regardless of whether he does or doesn't do this, it'd be one thing if you said all that and you didn't have video. It'd be one thing if you said anything about him DMing you and it not being real.
Right. Yeah,
you know, but we've made the decision. You've made the decision. We're going to put it out. And listen, I love the fact that it's going to be put out here as well. I know you've had another podcast, and so we're gonna show it. This nips that in the bud. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There is proof in the pudding as to what happened. There's proof in the pudding as to the dialogue back and forth. And at the very least, if he doesn't take a fight, the bottom line is, how is it going to look on his side when there is the footage and you are 2-0 against him when you did fight? That's how I look at it.
However he wants to take it.
It doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, he knows that it happened, and now people will know because they forced my fucking hand.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I don't need to lie on the internet. I know there are a lot of clowns that will say shit for attention, but bro, either do something about it or keep it moving, bro. Shut the fuck up. Don't sit here, trying to troll me like that. Like, just shut up then. Don't come in my DMs talking shit about some shit. Like, again, have respect for the man that put you on your fucking ass, bro. That's it. And the only one that could go out online and put his face out there and say, yeah, I did it. Now what? What are you going to do?
All right. Well, I was going to show the DMs back and forth. No. Now I'm going to show the video first if you just said that. So we're going to go right into the video. Here it is. I mean, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see this.
I'll explain what's happening.
Yeah, let's go full screen on this. So, all right. So you are.
I'm in the red shorts. I'm right here ducking. Right?
Okay.
He's over here. He's southpaw.
All right. Let's see. I think I got volume. Let's see. Hold on.
So I'm throwing wild. I'm pressuring him. Oh, rewind it because you missed it. But there he is on the floor, pointing to his chin that I just hit him in right here. He's pointing. Go ahead, rewind it again.
Is that the mouthpiece he's speaking? Oh, he's pointing.
Because I knocked his fucking headgear off. That's what happened. I knocked it loose.
All right,
so right there, you can even do it slow. Right here, I'm whipping this hook. He throws that right hook, and I come right over the top of my hook. Boom.
Oh.
Boom.
That's the shot?
Yes, sir. Then he goes to step back, and he thought he was back in Baltimore. And then, oh, shit, there's no legs anymore.
Wow, bro. Yeah.
That's what happens.
Wait, I want to see it in full again. Hold on.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay.
Wow.
He's pointing to his chin. He couldn't find where his chin was. So then here he goes. He's telling the referee, please give me some time. Please save me. My chin hurts. Let me stomp my legs out because I have no feelings in my fucking legs.
And can you explain the not like what the count? Why is there not a count?
There was an 8 count.
There was an 8 count.
Yeah, an 8 count, and they see whether or not he's okay to continue. But if there's something happen, like let's say his mouthpiece flung out or something, they'll call time, and then they'll go and address the issue. But what they're really doing is they're giving him time. They let him go to the corner. There's Calvin, Coach Calvin, to fix his headgear. But Calvin, of course, is going to take his sweet time. And in that process, he's still trying to find the feelings in his legs.
Yeah, because you got to think, you knocked him down he's down at, oh my God, bro. The 6-second mark, the 4-second mark. The 4-second mark, and then all the way, that's, he's talking like a minute.
Yeah. So, again, after the 8 count, he still had no legs. He was still shaking his legs out on the way to his point. That. So if they would have let that go, you saw the pressure I was putting on this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was messy. It was reckless. But that's what you have to do to slick fighters, and also fighters that they're bitch, bro. Mm-hmm. When you go on all these tournaments that he would fight in, if he was getting beat up, he would be dirty. He would fall on the floor. He would, hit the referee or push him out the way. Mm-hmm. He was an angry kid, justified. But still, when shit gets hot, he breaks. Mm. You know what I mean? So I know him. I know him since he's this big.
I want you to fight him so bad.
He'll never do it. He won't do it.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why.
What if you win your next?
Well, because he's already talking about retirement, brother. He's already talking about retirement. He don't get in the ring now unless it's for X amount of dollars. He's constantly saying he's out of the game. He don't want to. He's in it for the money or some shit now because he's tired of the game.
I did see that clip. That clip is real where he talks about his legacy.
And I understand
his dollar over the legacy. Yeah.
Ooh, brother. But again, don't hop in my DMs like that because I'm not that. I'm not that.
The DMs are a whole other thing. I mean, the DMs bothered me. Truth be told, bro. Like I don't know. I think it's tasteless, but
this is who we're dealing with.
So this is DMs. This is him after the video, the clip.
This is him after my podcast clip got traction. Days after, and after all his minions were sitting there talking shit, people tagging him in it like, yo, you see this clown saying he dropped you, all this shit.
All right, so let's go word for word here, right? Show me where you dropped me and you was 15 pounds heavier. Where are you and your dad career out now, Dickie? Now, mind you, were you 15 pounds heavier?
No. So here's the thing. Like, they didn't see me get on no scale.
Yeah.
They didn't see me get on the scale. And we were one weight class. I think he was 125 or something at the time, and I was like 132.
Gotcha.
So, I don't remember what the exact weights were, but, if we've been working with each other our whole lives, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
And if you're over here telling me specifics about the night, oh, you was 15 pounds heavier. So what? Show me where you dropped. You forgot that I fucking dropped you?
I got you. It's true.
You know what I mean? Come on.
It's true. And then we can spar now. I'll beat the dog shit out of you. Now is this, what is this?
That was for like one little tune-up fight I did like on the side where I was selling tickets. Yeah. And I was telling people like, cause I don't know. I don't know really what he meant by that. I don't know if he was referring to, those are little posts I put up in the meantime, like, yo, my tickets are running out.
Yeah,
get them,
whatever.
And I delete those posts in a day.
Well, he's at a level now where I know what he's trying to do. I get what he's trying to do.
Right.
But, I mean, whatever.
It's the only thing he could do.
Yeah.
Or just not say anything at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the only thing he could do.
Give it up and get a fucking job. And then you say, let's do it. I'll pull up. That tough talk, don't do nothing over here, my man. What you mean, show you. You forgot or what? And you send a still, right? This is a still. This is not the video, or is this a still?
That's a still.
It's a still. I'm just laughing. I think this is funny. Remember now, I didn't know I hit you that hard. What you that you forgot. Remember stomping at your legs to get the feeling back in them or not? And he wrote, where you at? And you said, wherever you want. And he says, I said, where you at, pussy? And you wrote, in your big ass head, have some respect for the man that put you on your ass. Let me know what's good and stop with the pump faking. You still living with your dad?
Yeah, I don't know what he meant by that.
He's digging, bro. He's digging.
Yeah,
you know,
he's talking about my stepdad, and he lives somewhere else. Like I don't.
Yeah. And then you write, you still painting your nails? I saw that ponytail and those dance moves. Can't be zesty while trying to act tough to me. Come on, dog. You know where I'm at? Come on, dog. You know where I'm at. Stop the small talk and let's make some shit happen.
Have you seen the dancing videos I'm referring to?
I have not.
Go on YouTube, Gervonta Davis dancing. You'll see him in his underwear doing these ass shaking dances, bro. It's just, yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
All right, this is where I'm not going to go watch that probably. But this is where, this is where it gets personal. And this is where it bothered me. I could only imagine. But you seem to take this very well. But I imagine this pushes your buttons a little bit. He sends a picture of your son. And he writes, his ears big as fuck.
Yeah.
Nothing to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing that surprises me coming from him. I mean, I didn't really... I know what he's trying to do. Like, I'm not stupid, but...
What do you think he's trying to do?
Just try to get under my skin in a certain way, or do something that he thinks will get me mad because the shit he's saying, it's not really resonating with me.
Yeah.
So he feels like he got to reach, just keep trying to elevate the level of trolling or whatever like that. But that shit don't mean nothing to me. My son's fucking bigger than him, more handsome than him. We're not worried, bro.
And your son is... like legit, like he's an awesome fucking kid.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even know what the hell's going on here, and he's like being thrown into this.
It's all right. My son likes to watch him fight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So but
did you show him this?
No, but I told him about it in case like one of his friends show him this clip or something.
Yeah,
this
so
is
he's
the
aware.
first time that it's being revealed, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about it like that. But then you respond, you trolling? You still a kid in the head. I'm here talking about getting active. I wasn't out here talking about your bald-headed mama. And so you did say that before, but to him directly. Yeah. In response, by the way, to...
of course. Yeah. I could have been there and took it there. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's out of your character too, but I know it is. It is.
I'm just letting him know, like, I could play ping pong with you. Don't worry. And you're not smarter than me, so this shit...
Yeah,
I'll hit you where it hurts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he writes, "I'm trying to get you mad enough to actually pull up, bitch ass. You'll be in Baltimore this camp, right?" And there's the picture. We'll actually. You'll be in Baltimore this camp, right? And then he writes, let's go back. Hold up. He writes, pull up Monday. Fuck all that talk. Pull up Monday. You only a few hours away. You want to get your flight? ? And then you wrote, you gave him, and I'll blur that out, but you gave your number.
Yeah, please blur that shit out, man.
It'll be blurred out, bro.
I already get harassed.
I promise that'll be blurred out. Anybody wants to get in touch with Julian?
Yeah, I gotta tell John Rondi to blur that shit out too.
Shit. Oh man, it might be up already, bro.
Yeah, right. Oh my god.
But no, this is interesting stuff, man. I mean, I want to see you get in the ring with him. Yeah. I really do.
And of course, he never contacted me directly.
Yeah,
I mean, he left it at that.
This is interesting, bro. This is I mean, the bottom line is all the people that thought you were trolling and saying it just to say it and ruffle feathers or whatever you were looking to accomplish. There's legitimate footage of you knocking down Gervonta. You beat him twice. You have other boxers that were there that can attest for that.
Yeah.
And again, I've never seen you go the direction of quote unquote stirring the pot outside of the ring.
Right.
But you know what, bro, for you and where you're at in your career, run it up.
Yeah. And I'm saying valid shit.
It's not,
I'm not,
you're not trolling to troll.
Being distasteful or ignorant.
No,
you know what I mean? I'm not, I got asked about my life and I told about my life.
Yeah.
And then people took it out of context and started saying ignorant shit. They forced my hand, and all right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. No
Well, the
problem.
proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
The proof is in the pudding. There is legitimate. There it is. I mean, like, you know, and I'm not the only one that's going to share this video because I'm sure it's going to be thrown around a little bit. There's proof. And I hope that you guys can figure out a way to settle it in the ring. And I know there's respect either way. Like, I'd imagine behind closed doors, truth be told, even though there's back and forth and shit, like, you know, you guys are competitors. A lot of shit was said. You've been called a liar. He's calling you out. He's trying to tell you to pull up. I hope you can figure out a way to settle it. I want to see it under the lights. I would prefer to see it under the lights. And if you are going to go to Baltimore, better be some fucking video.
For what? Why would I need to go to Baltimore? I've been pulling up to Baltimore our whole lives, fucking you up. Then you came over here and then you got dropped. So, you know what I mean? The ball, I'm cool. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm focused on myself. If it bothers you that much, then do what you want to do. But I'm cooling, bro.
Yeah.
If you're going to do something about it, sign the contract. And for what it's worth, you know what I mean? They forced my hand. And, yeah, I'm cooling, bro.
I hope this continues. I think this is going to continue.
I'm comfortable either way.
Either way, I know.
Either way.
I know, but you know what? This is good. This is fun.
Yeah, there's no cap in my rap. I kept fucking saying that shit. Like, bro, I'm not fucking lying, but okay. I know it might be unbelievable to you casual fans, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julian Rodriguez, bro.
Yeah, first of many down. Boom.
First of many.
Destination Podcast.
The Destination Podcast. My man, first and foremost, bro, you're my guy. Like, I love you. I love you. This is fun. This is amazing. And even having these conversations with you, like we have them a bunch, but to do this and have a camera on and you know, this is dope. Wouldn't have thought it would be attached to something like this, you know, because we probably should have and could have done this a million times prior, but great first time doing it.
Yeah. I had a lot of
I'm
fun,
excited
bro.
to be a part of whatever, you know, happens out of this and beyond that, bro. Just the rest of your career. I mean, your life. You're a good dude. You're a great fighter. Very excited for what's to come for you. And I mean, you heard Gervonta. Do it. I want to see it.
Yeah, bro.
I want to see it. So appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, always a pleasure, bro.
Always a pleasure, bro. Destination Podcast, Julian Rodriguez, Team Hammerhands. Follow him at Team Hammerhands. Big things, man.
Yes, sir. Pleasure for having me, man. Thank you.
Fucking hilarious, bro. That's legit. It happened. Bottom line is it fucking happened.
Watch how they like, oh, well, you know what? No, that was a slip or like something, bro. Watch.
This is celebration, elevation, no more contemplation, no hesitation. This my destination.